before we go, I want to address, Lisa, your question. You said trying, but the same things come up over and over again, and I don't know how to be free. I just had this conversation with Ken's son, Jesse, this morning,
Mhm.
and I'm going to speak from my experience because that's all I can speak of is from what I've done. And the reason why many things come up and over again is because we haven't allowed ourselves to feel through and give ourselves to feel that emotion that might be attached to something that keeps triggering itself. Many of us have repressed anger. And when I mean anger, I mean rage. There have been many things that all of us have had to endure, especially if you've had trauma as a child, because many times the trauma from a very young age, the mind can't process what's going on. It's just an emotional reaction of something that's happened. And literally, a child's brain has no way of processing it. It's just, it gets locked up in the body. And so many of these things happen when we're very young. And in order for us to be released from those things, we have to give ourselves permission to feel. And that means also, because generally what happens because of our indoctrination, don't let the sun go on down on your anger, turn the other cheek, take the abuse. I'm talking about English translations of what it's not written in Aramaic. We've been indoctrinated to subject ourselves to abuse, to pain, to suffering, and to just accept it. Like be happy when you're being abused because it's a good thing. No, it's not. And so part of that is addressing the rage and the anger and then forgiving yourself, because guaranteed what's going to happen is if you allow yourself to feel something because of the subconscious programming, let's just say you let your rage out. You just let it out. And then on the backside of it, you're horrified and you're shocked. And then you begin feeling sense of guilt and shame. Those have to be transmuted as well. And that is when the ability to extend grace to yourself and forgive yourself, release. I mean, forgiving yourself in the way of the Hebrew mindset is being able to transfer, turn that into a blessing, take it out of that curse course of a negative ideation of what happened and turn it into love. Fully, because us being here is all about experiences and the emotional side and the turmoil and the joy and everything in between that the heart feels. And if you choke off any of those things and do not allow yourself to feel them, you will not allow the light to flow through you. And then you end up getting choked off chakras. It's not allowed to spin. You will never be able to get into the full negentropy. So one of the things that I've had to do in the process of my shadow work is sitting with it and taking, okay, best way to do it. Best way to do it. Wait until you get triggered. It's kind of hard to do it without a trigger. You can kind of create the trigger by having the spirit help you with this. But really wait until you're triggered on something. And what that means is that you may not feel safe. You're not in a place of peace. You might feel some agitation, frustration. Your voice might increase in the level, and you feel completely uncomfortable, and you feel like you're going to maybe partially get unhinged. In that moment, when those kind of emotions start surfacing, that is a perfect catalyst for you to go sit with what you're feeling, dig inwardly, and then allow those emotions to be. So if something is coming into your field and it makes you angry, feel angry. Allow it to flow through you. Embrace your anger. Embrace it. If you feel like you need to rage and you need to go take a plate and smash it, do it, because you're allowing the rage and the anger and the sadness and the loneliness and the depression. Depression stems from unresolved trauma. And you can only put a bandage on it for so long. You can only take so many pharmaceuticals to try to suppress the depression. Because ultimately, if we do not get these feelings out of us, it will try to kill the body. Because that is like the barometer. When things start going wrong in your body and you enter into a stage of illness, it's because there's unresolved trauma. the body turns on itself because you're not seeing all the other cues. And especially if we drug ourselves up, even with alcohol, with natural substances, with, you know, medications and all that, we're trying to numb ourselves to the fact that we need to get these emotions out. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to go through this because a lot of us do not want to feel it. Bye, Alan, if you need to go.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that will help you, Lisa, in the process of getting through this. We need to feel again, and we need to allow all of those emotions in the full range of their being and not judge ourselves for them. Observe them, allow them to be, and they will pass through you. And as you begin doing that and allowing yourself, it will dig up some of the other things that need to be transmuted. And you just do it trigger after trigger after trigger. That's what shadow work is about. And that's why revelations from the languages, or when you come and listen to Ken and I share, or I know that you guys listen to a host of other people that you listen to that feed you. Every time a new revelation comes in, that's Hillel. That is the light that is trying to connect to Lilith, that is trying to take us out of the oath breaker. Oath is sacred. Sacred is Shabbat. Shabbat, remember to turn in time. The whole process of the punishment, we only limit it and we only say it's punishment, but it's that uneasy feeling that we get is because we are refusing to allow ourselves to be the beautiful people that we are, that feel. Feelings are a gift. The whole spectrum is a gift. And we need to stop cursing ourselves, and we need to stop shaming ourselves, and we need to forgive those things that we have judged harshly and just let them be. You know, be mindful of making sure that you're not taking it out on a spouse or children or neighbors or bosses or, you know, whatever, because we don't want to harm another in our turning. But we certainly need to deal with it. And I can tell you from my own experience, I had a lot of bottled rage. It went beyond anger, it went into rage. And when those things started surfacing and Lilith rose up in me, it was actually very scary to see because of the potential of what I had in me, of that dark energy. And I transmuted it. And I love that side of me. I love the ability to feel. And I pray that for all of you, and we all have to walk through it. We can't get out of it. It is our sacred work. And as soon as you do that, and there's no shadow left, you will not be moved. You will be not shook. No one and no thing and nothing outside of you will trigger you. You will be able to be, like we see in the writings of Yeshua, being able to sleep in the middle of a storm because he was in perfect place of peace and rest. I hope that helps.
Be generous to yourself, be kind. I mean, there's no way around this. You have to enter the journey. The power in even you asking the question brings clarity to where you are. I don't know how. Well, there's many good counselors. There's many good venues to seek to respond to your own question. Right. This is why we're giving the test of time, is to resolve this question of how to love ourselves. The debt is love. But again, if we truly ask ourselves that reflection in the mirror, do I love myself? Do I trust myself? You know, do I believe in myself? We need to really activate truthfully to respond correctly, to then comprehend what it is to move as an action. Most of us live in a lie. And so I appreciate your question is truthful to say, I don't know how to be free. Well, everything of freedom is exactly what we're talking about. Cain, by definition, is the liberty of freedom and the expression of purity and innocence. That's what Cain means. And so when we avenge ourselves, you're fully avenged to find what freedom is. But this is the expression. Remember, this is a lofty concept. We're talking about the victory, the place of Yeshua, that is the essence of God in the earth. It's God's some assembly required. And so be generous with yourself in the expression as you gather one piece at a time. Treasure every moment that you see a greater reflection of yourself. And if you ask for that reflection to be enhanced, it will give you the expression of an opportunity to see a greater expression. But remember, it's a test. It's a test. How you handle your test is how you handle your test. It's all the power is in the vantage point of observing yourself. When you know that, then you quickly move through the subject lesson.
And then you can be objective about it.
Then you're objective. That's moving at light
As the
speed.
observer.
Yep.
Yep. exactly.
So thank you for your honest question.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'm
yeah.
glad that we didn't bypass that, because that is it's a very important topic.
And remember that a lot of this personally is our atmosphere, what surrounds you, right? You're creating a paradigm, a reality. If it's not sustainable, then it's asking you to move in sustainability. But most of us get ensnared in the Fowler's trap.
Mhm.